The pattern was so subtle that Amazon's security algorithms missed it completely. 47 packages over 6 months, all with slightly modified addresses, all containing items that made no sense for their destinations. But Sarah's CIA training had taught her to spot espionage networks hiding in plain sight, and this one was using America's largest shipping company. Welcome to Secret Human Stories. Before I reveal this incredible story of hidden intelligence expertise and international espionage discovered in an Amazon warehouse, tell me in the comments if you or anyone in your family or circle of friends has military service background, and if so, what branch or role they served in. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button. Because sometimes the most dangerous threats to national security are uncovered by people whose lethal training is disguised behind employee ID badges and safety vests. Sarah Chen seemed like the perfect Amazon fulfillment center employee. At 38, she was methodical, punctual, and possessed an unusual attention to detail that made her one of the most efficient package processors at the massive Phoenix distribution facility. Her productivity numbers were consistently in the top 5%, her error rate was virtually zero, and her ability to identify packaging irregularities had prevented dozens of shipping mistakes over her 18-month employment. What made Sarah particularly valuable was her encyclopedic knowledge of shipping protocols and her uncanny ability to spot packages that didn't fit normal distribution patterns. While other warehouse workers focused on meeting hourly quotas, Sarah noticed inconsistencies that others missed: wrong zip codes, unusual weight distributions, addresses that didn't exist, and shipping routes that made no geographical sense. Her supervisors at Amazon appreciated Sarah's diligence and promoted her to Quality Control Specialist, a position that gave her access to flagged packages and suspicious shipments that required additional scrutiny. In this role, Sarah's keen observational skills helped the facility maintain its reputation for accuracy while protecting Amazon from potential liability issues related to prohibited or dangerous items. But Sarah Chen's background held secrets that would have shocked her Amazon co-workers. Those analytical skills that made her exceptional at identifying shipping anomalies had been developed during 15 years with the Central Intelligence Agency, where she'd specialized in pattern recognition, surveillance detection, and counterintelligence operations across Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia. From 2005 to 2020, Sarah Chen had operated under diplomatic cover in Moscow, Beijing, and Bangkok, conducting intelligence-gathering operations that required her to identify enemy surveillance networks, detect foreign intelligence activities, and recognize patterns of behavior that indicated espionage operations targeting American interests. Sarah's CIA service record included some of the agency's most successful counterintelligence achievements of the past 2 decades. She had identified and neutralized 17 foreign intelligence networks, provided critical intelligence that prevented 12 major terrorist attacks, and developed analytical methodologies that became standard training for CIA pattern recognition specialists. Her specialty had been what the intelligence community calls commercial cover analysis, identifying espionage activities that use legitimate business operations to conceal intelligence gathering or technology transfer. These operations required the ability to recognize subtle patterns in shipping records, financial transactions, and business communications that indicated foreign intelligence services were exploiting American commercial systems. The psychological toll of intelligence work had been extraordinary. Every pattern Sarah identified could represent a threat to American national security, every suspicious activity might indicate foreign agents operating on U.S. soil, and every analytical mistake could result in successful enemy operations against American interests. The responsibility was constant, the paranoia necessary for survival, and the isolation required for operational security had made normal relationships impossible. Sarah's decision to leave the CIA in 2020 had been driven by burnout, PTSD from operations that had resulted in the deaths of foreign assets, and the desire to find civilian work where her analytical skills could be used constructively without the life-or-death consequences that defined intelligence operations. Amazon's fulfillment center had seemed like the perfect transition, a controlled environment where her pattern recognition abilities could identify shipping problems rather than enemy spies, where mistakes resulted in customer complaints rather than blown operations, and where she could use her expertise to build rather than destroy. For 18 months, Sarah had convinced herself that her intelligence training was an artifact of her former life, that the espionage networks and foreign threats she'd once hunted were no longer her responsibility now that she'd returned to civilian life and honest work in American commerce. But some skills never truly retire, especially when they involve protecting American national security from foreign intelligence services that never stop trying to penetrate U.S. commercial and governmental systems. And on Monday morning, March 15, 2024, during what should have been routine quality control duties, those skills would prove that some threats are too dangerous to ignore when American military secrets are being stolen through the nation's largest shipping network. The discovery began with package #AMZ47291B, a routine Amazon shipment that had been flagged by the automated screening system for weight discrepancy. The package was supposed to contain a laptop computer, but it weighed 3 pounds more than the manufacturer's specifications indicated was possible. Sarah's initial inspection revealed that the package had been opened and resealed using professional techniques that wouldn't be noticed during normal handling. Inside, she found a Lenovo ThinkPad laptop that appeared completely normal, but her intelligence training recognized subtle modifications to the device that indicated sophisticated electronic surveillance equipment had been installed. The shipping label showed a destination address in Arlington, Virginia, specifically, an apartment building located exactly 2.3 miles from the Pentagon and within the surveillance range that foreign intelligence services typically used for electronic intelligence gathering operations targeting American military communications. Sarah's CIA pattern recognition training activated immediately. A modified laptop containing surveillance equipment being shipped to a location with optimal Pentagon intelligence gathering potential represented exactly the kind of technology transfer that foreign intelligence services use to steal American military secrets. But this single package could have been an isolated incident, corporate espionage, private surveillance, or even legitimate security testing. Sarah's intelligence training had taught her that real threats revealed themselves through patterns rather than individual incidents, and identifying those patterns required systematic analysis of related data. Using her quality control access to Amazon's shipping database, Sarah began searching for similar packages that might indicate a broader espionage operation. What she discovered over the next week would reveal one of the most sophisticated foreign intelligence networks ever detected operating through American commercial shipping systems. Package #AMZ43187A, electronic components shipped to a residence in McLean, Virginia, 3 blocks from CIA headquarters. The components were designed for long-range wireless data transmission and were being delivered to an address that didn't exist in any official records. Package #AMZ45923C, specialized photography equipment shipped to an office building in downtown Washington, D.C., that housed 3 defense contracting firms. The equipment included telephoto lenses capable of reading documents from distances exceeding 500 meters. Package #AMZ46845D. Computer servers and data storage devices shipped to a warehouse facility in Bethesda, Maryland, located along the fiber optic cable routes that carried classified communications between Pentagon and NSA facilities. Each package showed the same professional modification techniques, the same weight discrepancies, and destinations that created a geographic network optimized for intelligence gathering against the most sensitive facilities in the American national security establishment. Sarah's analysis revealed 47 packages over 6 months, representing approximately $340,000 in sophisticated surveillance and data collection equipment being positioned throughout the Washington, D.C., metropolitan area by what could only be a well-funded foreign intelligence service. The operational security was exceptional: different shipping accounts, varied payment methods, addresses that existed just long enough to receive deliveries, and timing patterns that avoided detection by Amazon's automated security systems. This was the work of professionals who understood American commercial systems and had developed methods for exploiting them. Sarah faced the most difficult decision of her post-CIA life. She could report her discoveries through normal Amazon security channels and hope that corporate investigators would understand the national security implications, or she could contact her former CIA supervisors and risk exposing her new civilian identity to resume the intelligence work she tried to leave behind. The decision was made for her when she discovered package #AMZ47801F, military-grade radio frequency jammers being shipped to a location 4 blocks from the White House. These devices were designed to disrupt Secret Service communications during presidential movements, and their delivery was scheduled for the same week that intelligence reports indicated a planned presidential visit to nearby federal facilities. Sarah activated protocols she hadn't used since leaving the CIA. At 11:47 p.m. on March 22, she placed a secure call to the CIA's Langley Operations Center using emergency contact procedures that would immediately identify her as a former operative with critical intelligence. This is Sarah Chen, former Analytical Division, employee number 47291B. I have immediate national security intelligence requiring counterintelligence response. The duty officer who received Sarah's call, Senior Intelligence Analyst Michael Rodriguez, immediately recognized her CIA identification and the significance of her contact. "Sarah, this is Mike Rodriguez. We've been wondering where you disappeared to. What do you have?" Foreign intelligence network using Amazon's shipping system to position surveillance equipment throughout the D.C. area. 47 confirmed packages, $340,000 in professional surveillance gear, targeting Pentagon, CIA, NSA, and White House communications. They're planning something big. Within 4 hours, Sarah was sitting in a secure briefing room at CIA headquarters, presenting her analysis to a joint task force that included representatives from the FBI's Counterintelligence Division, NSA's Domestic Security Office, and the Secret Service's Presidential Protection Detail. CIA Counterintelligence Director James Morrison reviewed Sarah's package analysis and immediately recognized the sophistication of the operation. "Sarah, this is exceptional work. You've identified what appears to be a comprehensive foreign intelligence penetration of Washington's most sensitive facilities. How did you spot this pattern?" Sarah's response reflected both her professional pride in her analytical abilities and her ambivalence about returning to intelligence work. "Sir, 15 years of CIA training doesn't just disappear when you start working in a warehouse. I saw patterns that didn't make sense, and I couldn't ignore the national security implications." The joint investigation that followed Sarah's intelligence report would become one of the most successful counter-espionage operations in recent CIA history. Over the next 6 weeks, federal agents tracked the surveillance network to a sophisticated foreign intelligence cell that included 12 operatives from 3 different countries working to steal American military communications protocols. The operation, codenamed Package Deal, resulted in the arrest of foreign intelligence operatives, the seizure of advanced surveillance equipment, and the prevention of what investigators determined would have been the largest theft of American military communications security in decades. FBI counterintelligence special agent Lisa Park, who led the operational response to Sarah's intelligence, later described the significance of her contribution. Sarah Chen's pattern recognition prevented a foreign intelligence coup that could have compromised American national security for years. Her ability to spot espionage activities hidden in commercial shipping saved this country from a devastating intelligence loss. But Sarah's greatest contribution wasn't just identifying the espionage network, it was demonstrating that American national security depends on citizens who retain their sense of responsibility even after leaving government service, who recognize that protecting America doesn't end with retirement from intelligence agencies. 3 months after the operation concluded, Sarah received a visit from CIA Director Patricia Williams, who offered her a position as Senior Analytical Consultant with the agency's Commercial Cover Intelligence Division. "Sarah," Director Williams explained, "your Amazon experience has shown us vulnerabilities in American commercial systems that we never recognized. We need someone who understands both intelligence operations and legitimate business processes to help protect American companies from foreign exploitation." Sarah's response revealed her evolution from burned-out intelligence officer to civilian analyst who understood that protecting America required different forms of service. Director Williams, "I'll consult on commercial security vulnerabilities, but I want to maintain my Amazon position. American workers need to understand that national security is everyone's responsibility." 6 months later, Sarah received a letter from David Kim, a college student whose father worked at the Pentagon in communication security. "Ms. Chen," he wrote, "my dad told me that you prevented foreign spies from stealing American military secrets while working at an Amazon warehouse. I'm studying computer security because you showed me that protecting our country can happen anywhere, even in civilian jobs." David's letter helped Sarah understand that her transition from CIA operative to civilian analyst wasn't about abandoning intelligence work, it was about expanding the definition of national security service to include citizens who use their expertise to protect America in whatever capacity they find themselves. Today, Sarah Chen works as Senior Quality Control Analyst at Amazon's Phoenix Fulfillment Center, where she continues to identify suspicious shipping patterns while serving as a consultant to multiple federal agencies on commercial security vulnerabilities. Her colleagues now know about her CIA background and respect her choice to use her intelligence training for both commercial and national security purposes. Sarah's story teaches us that intelligence expertise doesn't disappear when operatives retire from government service, it evolves into civilian vigilance that protects American interests through private sector awareness and pattern recognition that foreign intelligence services can't predict or counter. The CIA operative who once hunted foreign spies in Moscow and Beijing found a way to continue that mission in an Amazon warehouse, using her skills to protect American military secrets instead of gathering foreign intelligence. Sometimes national security depends on detecting enemy networks in embassy communications, sometimes it depends on recognizing espionage patterns in shipping records. Sarah Chen proved that protecting America is a civilian responsibility that extends far beyond government service, that intelligence training creates lifelong guardians who continue defending national security in whatever environment their skills can contribute to American safety and freedom. The Amazon warehouse worker who used to be a CIA operative became the quality control analyst who still hunts foreign spies when they try to exploit American commercial systems to steal military secrets. Her eyes never stopped scanning for threats, whether they were enemy agents or suspicious packages. American national security depends on citizens like Sarah Chen who understand that the war against foreign intelligence never ends, it just moves to new battlegrounds where civilian expertise and government training combine to protect the homeland from enemies who never stop trying to steal our secrets.